Greetings, I am Advocate Musab Hashmi speaking from Hyderabad, India. So I just was getting a thought about about land use. My mother had written a thesis on land use in Telangana. That was her project of MPhil, and in her PhD in geography from Osmania University. It was something related to land use of Telangana also. So I was very small at that time, and I used to go with her to the printing press. And printing and writing a book was a very big deal that time, because you could not just take a computer and have a printout. You had to go to the places where the things are being printed. And then when I was a small kid, I had cried that I wanted a small map. So they gave me a map of that time Andhra Pradesh or something. So I was so happy, oh, this is my map. So when I travel outside my city Hyderabad, I get a feeling. I don't know how many of you would agree with my thought and all. Just I wanted to share, being thankful to YouTube that it has given us humans so much facility that whatever thoughts we are having, we can share it at large with the world. We need not be economically very big or politically or influentially or in some other way. If you are so and so, only then you can give your thoughts to the world. It has been roughly made a level playing field as far as information transfer goes by the platforms like YouTube and other social media and internet giants. So when I was traveling outside the city, I just was seeing on both the sides of the highway there are a lot of lands which are vacant and not being used for agriculture, for dairy. They are just becoming wastelands. In Hindi or in Urdu they call it banjar zameen kar de rahe. So land has been created by God Almighty when the world was created, and it will end with the world or with the apocalypse or the Qiyamah or whatever you would like to call it. So this is not a resource which was created by one particular country or state or human family or group of people. This is a natural resource like any other resource of gold, silver, diamond, steel, iron or any other thing. So this is something which is not being created by man, and it will not be destroyed by man. It is a God-made creation if you believe in God. And for those who do not believe in God, it is a nature's creation, and nature has given us the land and nature will take back the land. It depends on our ability and intention that how we use it. So what thoughts I got when I traveled outside the city is that a lot of lands are being unused. You have a resource, you have land, you have water, you have electricity, but nobody is doing any agriculture on that, and there are no dairy farms on that, and there is no fishery pond on that, and no houses are being constructed on that, and no schools are there, no hospitals, no malls. But when you get down at that land from the highway or on the inner road or on the Bandidari, and you go and speak to the people from whatever village you are passing through, to whom belongs this land, he will say so and so. If you ask him to whom belongs that land, he will say so and so. And if you say that now you want to till the land, or if you want to plant some trees or grow some vegetables or fruits, or if you want to put some cows and buffaloes there for milk production, or sheep and goats for meat production, or if you want to put some hens, the response which you will get is that this belongs to so and so, and if you want to do that, you have to buy it from him for a price of these many crore rupees. You say like, these many crores, in how many years a common man can earn that much, and in how many years he will be able to buy the agricultural land, and then when will he till the land and grow the things, and when will that product come into the market and go into the homes of people and into the mouth of people. So it becomes a non-practical thing. So just it was my thought. I don't know whether it is implementable or not, or whether it is practical or not. But previously also in India we had ULC, Urban Land Ceiling Act. Those people who had more than so and so quantity of land within city limits, and those people who had so and so quantity of land outside the city limits, the government took that land and again redistributed it among the poor people, so that they might do agriculture and the land will not be unused. So what was coming in my mind, that maybe the world or maybe India needs another urban land redevelopment plan or something like that. There are people who have a lot of land, and there are a lot of land chunks who are so called owned by a lot of people, but then they are not keeping it productive. They are not using it for agriculture, they are not using it to make industries, they are not using it to put a dairy farm and so forth. It's like you buy a nice car and then you park it in front of your home and you are not driving it at all. What use is that car to you if you are not using it? Or you think that you have bought a nice pressure cooker and stove, but you are not cooking with it. What use is that? So similar goes with land. Those people who are already having lands and not using it, I advise and recommend them to use it. Use it for agriculture, use it to grow plants, use it to grow fruits and vegetables, use it for dairy farming, for sheep and goat farming, for meat production, and for eggs and hen and chicken. So the things which are productive, it is proper use of the nature and natural resources of the planet. If you do not use it, then I will ask a question to them with humbleness and a lot of respect, that then what is the use of your land? You have so many acres of land, you have so many square yards of land on the highway, on the main road, you have so and so acres or hectares or whatever unit of measurement you call it, you have so much of land but not using it, then it is a blockage of resources from the nature. You are acquiring it and not using it. If you would not have acquired it, somebody else might have bought it and used it maybe. And to the policy makers and the government departments, if my voice is reaching them, I would like to recommend them and suggest them. I'm not just doing this so that I can get some post when you are implementing this. You implement it with whomever you want, no problem. You can implement with whomever you want. But what I thought is that if there is some equalization of land resources, like those, what I suggest is those lands which are already under cultivation, who are having standing crops, they must be left in the ownership of the so-called owners who are presently there. But those lands which are not having standing crops, and those plots in the city which are not having buildings on them, the government should take those lands back and then redistribute them among all the common people. You can make various criteria, like person having income of less than this, or white Aadhaar card, or on the IT returns, whatever classification you want you can make. That's a different issue. But broadly, if you take back the land which is not being cultivated, which is not being built, and then redistribute it among the common masses, and with the condition that you will use this productively, and if you are not able to use it productively within a period of 1 year, then again the government will take that land back from them. So this might be a odd concept, but it increases the productivity and efficiency in the world and the universe and the nature. People are just buying land and blocking it and not using it to grow anything. People are buying land in the city